SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. Hi, welcome to SBR4 Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the College Bowls right now, and we're talking with Stephen O from EventDataServices.com and Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, both of whom told me that they have an opinion on the Chick-Fil-A Bowl, Duke and Texas A&M. And both these guys, they're regular guests, so they really need an introduction. Not really, but I will anyway. Stephen O's been giving us winning picks for a year and a half, almost 2 years now in the NFL. His record this year, 9-6-1 against the spread, 6-0 against the spread since he's been giving us his top picks from his site. And Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, 25-13 against the spread in the NFL with us this year. These guys are obviously the top of the top, and I'm very happy to have them discussing college bowl games with us. Let's start with you, Joe. The Chick-Fil-A Bowl being played in Atlanta. It's Duke, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is 11.5 or 12-point favorite. The total's 73.5 or 74.5. Those are both widely available numbers, so that's some interesting, uncertainty in terms of the market. I mean, I guess, both these teams have high-powered offenses, right? The question is, how much of a talent edge does Texas A&M really have here? And then the second question is, where is their motivation as compared with Duke? Obviously, Duke's going to be hyper-motivated to come out and beat a marquee program like Texas A&M. 11.5 or 12 points, kind of a big spread, but if Texas A&M has a huge edge in talent, they can cover that easily. Joe Duffy, what do you like here?
Yeah, no, one of the reasons why this is one of the games that I jumped, said I'd like to discuss is when I look over the games, I'm going to look at every single game, but you always want to look at motivation as one of the first factors, and that's something that both the public and sharp players will agree on. And just like you said, Texas A&M, they started out the year, they were everybody's chic pick to win the national championship. Now they're playing in a minor bowl for them, but in the case of Duke, this is a basketball school. All of a sudden, they had a tremendous football year. First time ever, they're playing in back-to-back goals. They will be playing for them, the equivalent of playing in a BCS championship game. So there's no question that Duke should be the much more motivated team. And then another thing, like we said, I always like to look at is how far does each team travel. Duke with a little bit of an advantage there. They're traveling 348 miles. Texas A&M 731, to right up the block from me.
All right, so your pick on this one's going to be Duke plus 12.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go to Stephen O from EventDataServices.com. Now, Stephen O, everything you do is based on your model, and let me just, you're just starting out with your college football model here. And when it comes to bowl games, is a team like Texas A&M who's getting like a relatively disappointing bowl. Is that something you can factor in?
It's funny. It really isn't.
Right.
And that's one reason why I've not introduced college football picks until I've fully tested my model. Mm-hmm. I do agree that motivation is a huge part, which is, again, why I focus more on the NFL, where presumably professionals are motivated all the time. But Texas A&M, Johnny Manziel is coming out, and, he does want to put on a show and show that he can be an elite quarterback. So I do think there's motivation from A&M's key player. One thing about the A&M defense, I know they're statistically bad. Mm-hmm. But they actually held 6 of 11 of their opponents to below their season average. They were just some of the high-profile games just looked so bad, which is what skewed their numbers. And Duke, the line projects Duke to score 31.5, and Duke's Texas A&M, when they played teams that average under 35, they held them to around 26 points per game, which is what the team's average overall. So I just see that from a statistical modeling standpoint, Duke isn't likely to score much more than 30. Mm-hmm. And from that standpoint, it's whether A&M can score their season average, like 43.5 points. Duke's is a slightly rated better than average defense, but depending on the competition, if they had played outside the ACC, who knows where their rankings would have been. So I kind of see A&M having an average performance offensively, and Duke actually not taking advantage of what is statistically a bad A&M defense.
All right, so you're going to go with Texas A&M minus 11.5, and both 11.5 and 12 are widely available numbers right now.
Yep.
All right, well, there you go. We might go 1-0-1 in these picks, but Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com and Stephen O from EventDataServices.com disagreeing on the side with value in the Sun Bowl. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.